drop down list, and so how to work with surface automation. So after that we will discuss about documentation part. Okay, so generally, so in any application, if you have a drop down, how to work with that? So we need to select any specific thing from the drop down list. Then how to implement this one? Okay, so for example, if you observe somewhere, so in currency converter or any other application, suppose if you want to select any state from the drop down list, you need to select a state. Suppose if you want to select when you are purchasing something from any thing from Amazon or Flipkart, whatever it may be, if you need to select a product, you need to choose a product from the drop down list. So like that, wherever you have a drop down list option, so we can use these options for drop down list. So what we need to do is, so we have a options here. So we have to use navigate shape. Remember, we have to use navigate shape, and we have to use select item. We have an option called select item. We have to use select item as a action, and then select item we need to give item number or text. Some text information it will ask. We need to use these two things. Item number, so most of the time we will go with a item number, and then item text means whatever the information you require from the drop down list, you need to write it as a text. So that's the meaning of item text, but most of the time we will go with item number. Now we'll see so how to work with it. For example, so if you go to any application, so like let's take this one. Okay, here click on I am feeling lucky. If you click on I am feeling lucky, here observe this, we have a drop down list. We have drop down list here, right? From this I need to select any specific language. See this, so me Filipino, and then Dansk, and then so this is so many things we have, right? So English, United Kingdom. So which one you need to select from the drop down? You don't have any other option here. See this, you don't have type option here, right? So here you have a type option, but here you don't have type option because it's a drop down list. From this drop down you need to select any specific thing, right? Then so what we need to do is we need to use navigate. We have to spy this and we have to use navigate, and then from this you need to select any specific number. From the top to down it will assign the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. English is 7, right? And then 8, 9, 10, 11. Filipino is 11, right? And then France is 12. So suppose if you want to select France from this list, then we have to use drop down list. Okay, now we'll see so how to work with the same thing. Okay, we'll do the same thing here. We will see how to work with this. So it's a browser based application. So what we need to do, we need to go to Object Studio and we need to create an object. I click create an object. This is for drop down list. And double click on this. Go to action. What we need to do, we need to create application. This is for browser, so we are working with a browser, right? For drop down list from executable file, and then Explorer, and then so this is for google.com. Just a minute, I will adjust the things. Is it clear now? Is my voice is clear now? Can you able to hear me, guys? You can text me here. Okay, fine. Now here, see this, what we need to do? We need to launch first, right? Click on a launch and it has been launched. After that, if you want to go to that option, what we need to do? We need to spy and we need to click on this option, right? Come to application, create a element for feeling lucky, identify, come here, control left click to spy this, and then use the attributes and check your parent URL, right? These are the things what we have to do, and then highlight. Yes, it's working. Now click apply and then OK. After clicking on feeling lucky, what we have to do? We have to spy this, right? Go to application modular, create an element for this, another element called drop down, again identify, come to that application, and here this one, right? This one. So we need to spy, control left click, again apply, and then check, highlight. Yes, it's working fine. Good. Now we created a element for that, right? Now we will see so how to use this option, how to use this drop down option. Now click OK. Let me close this now. So everything we will do it in a single action. You will see that. Normally what you will do, we will create, so launch in one action, so another, so feeling lucky in another action, and then so now selecting another action, right? Instead of that, so we'll do it in one thing. So just to checking purpose, right? So navigate, we will use to launch. First it has to launch. Double click, main element to launch. Launch. Once it is launched, then what we have to do? We need to click on feeling lucky. Again use navigate, double click, use feeling lucky, action, click center, click center, click OK. So after that, after clicking on a feeling lucky, then it will go to that specific page, right? So here always, so we are using navigate for drop down. Observe this drop down element, and then see this option, select item. We have to use select item. In this, when we are using select item, observe this down, item position or item number, item position, right? Item position, and then item text. So item text, you have to give the value, whatever the value is there, exact value you have to give it here. Otherwise it's better to use item position. So if you give 12, then automatically it will take, so what is there in a 12th position in the drop down list. That's the meaning of this. It is going to pay what is there in the 12th position in the drop down list. Now click OK. Now give the link. Just reset this one. We will run and then we will see. Observe this and observe. So which one it has selected now? See this, France, right? From this drop down list, if you count this from the starting to down, so Francis your 12th position, right? So like this we can able to use this drop down option. Okay, and one more thing here. So in interview sometimes they will ask, okay, if you are going to pick one thing, we will use select item. For example, there is a question like this: from this list, from this drop down, I want to know how many values we have in this drop down list. I want to pick all the list from the drop down list. It means how many things we have, how many languages we have, everything we need it in separate collection. So what we have to do? We have an option called get all items. Remember this. We have an option called get all items. For this, we have to use read shape. We have to use read shape. For drop down list select item, we have to use for single thing to pick any specific thing. If you want to pick complete thing, so complete list from a drop down list, we have to use get all items and then read. We will see that how to implement. Same thing. Already we have spied this one, right? Already we have spied this specific thing. So we have that. Now come to this action. Sorry. You can use read. We have to use read option. Read. Give this link. Double click. Drop down. Observe this. Get all items. We have an option called get all items, and then we have to store it in some collections. Value from drop down. So in this collection it will store all the values to this collection. Now we'll see that. Set, and we are going to run this again. Let me close this. Already application has been opened. Now reset and then run. Observe this. Selected 12th position to that France. Okay, and then observe this. How many values we have? Around 39 values we have. Come to this current value. See this. Each and every value it has been picked from that list and it has given it to collection. From this collection, if you want to pick any specific thing, so if you want to do for anything, so we can able to use these values also. Once we have that values in collection, we can use the collection dot like field name, right? So like that. Okay. So now, but most of the time we will use select item and then we will use the item position. So then automatically it will pick the values. Okay, this is about drop down list. Okay, so coming to surface automation. What it means by surface automation? Have you ever worked with snipping tool? Right, so most of the time, so every time, so we'll do this. If you want to capture any screen, right, the same way surface automation also it will work. So when we are working with region mode, we will call it as a surface automation. Don't get confused. We have Win32 accessibility and region modes, right, to spy any application. When you are working with region mode, we will call that as a surface automation. When we are working with surface automation here, so the first thing we need to remember is this surface automation, it's not suggestible most of the time, and that's why, so by default your application, it has to be by default thing is Win32 mode, and then for the browser application HTML mode, right? So this surface automation we will use. So if your application is supporting, then only we can able to use that. At the same time, so when you are working with surface automation, what it will do is it will capture complete complete window as image, as a image. For example, when you are working, I will show you something. Go to google.com. Now observe this. So here, this is window. In this particular window, how many things we have? Image, and then this one, Google search, feeling lucky, so many things, right? And then so many things we have. So if you do, so for example, in a snipping tool, what you are going to do, so when you're going to capture anything, you will use this, and then you will click on new, and then you are going to capture that specific area, right? What happened? Now the area has been captured, right? So these things we will call it as a surface, right? Within this surface, within this region, what are the things we are going to do? So nothing but surface automation. We will see that now. So here, so we can able to pick the image, and we can able to read the data from the text, read the data from the buttons, or read the data from the text. So and then we can able to click also. The same way how we are going to work with so remaining options. The same way we can able to work. But advantage of this one is single time we can able to capture all the elements. Single time we can able to so capture. So what it mean by that? Let's see that. Now the same application we will take google.com, go to object, right click, create an object, surface automation, double click on this. Now go to application modular, from executable file, here give URL, sorry, next. Now application has been created. Now here we are going to spy the elements by using region mode, right? We will see how we are going to do that. So before that, what we need to do, we need to launch the application, right? Launch. Once the application is launched, we can able to go for spying. Now come to application modular, click on an element, give it as a surface. Now observe what is happening. Click on identify. Here by default it is HTML mode, right? Now we'll change this mode. See this, region mode, right? It is capturing complete thing as a region. Now control left click. Observe here what happened. See this, it captured as a region, right? This is your surface. It captured complete thing as a region. In this page, at the same time we can able to spy everything. Now how to spy these things? Observe this, we have an option called region, right? Click on that region, click on this, and just what you need to capture, like this image I required, and then give the name of this here. For example, this is image, and then after that what we required. After that I need to read this value, read this text information from this. Then again click on region, come here, do like this, right? From this, so this is for button read value from button, right? Okay, button read. Okay. Okay. After that, what we required? I need this thing. I need to click on this here. Then again, click on a region. Come here, and then like this. And then this for feeling lucky. Feeling lucky. Click, apply, and then okay. That's it. Now observe this. How many elements has been created? See this? Image, button, and then feeling. All these elements have been created by using surface. And one more thing, remember when we are using surface automation, always your screen resolution should be 100%. Then only it is going to work, and then your application has to support. Then only we can able to work with surface automation. Otherwise, it's very difficult to work with surface automation. Okay, 100% your screen resolution should be there. Suppose so, because it's taking everything as an image, right? When you are taking that as an image, so the same thing. So if you work in some other, if you deploy it into some other missions, then it may not work, right? So that's why it's very, so we're giving less importance to surface automation. Okay, so now we'll see that. So what we have done, we created elements, right? We will use these elements, then we will create a actions here. Any action, same action. First what we need to do, we need to launch. Use navigate, double click, we'll use main element to launch, click OK. After that what we need to do, after that we will read image. For that we will use read option, image, right? Double click this one, image. For image, observe that option, read image. Read image, we have an option called read image, and then store it in where you need to store value from a image. See this, we have a data type called image, right? It will store images. Okay. Now click okay. So after that what we need to, after getting read image, we need to read the value from that particular Google search, right? What is the value there? So use again read, double click, button read text with OCR. Generally what we are going to do, so if you want to read any value from any text, then we will use read text, right? Read text or read current value, right? Those actions we will use. But when you are working with surface automation, so it will consider as a read text with OCR. OCR is optimal character recognition. OCR tools means when you are working with any images, we will call that as a OCR concepts, right? Same way, and then store it in some store it in value from button, value from button, and then click on this. And after that we need to click on feeling lucky, right? So use navigate again, give this link, connect this one, double click. Which one we have to do? Use feeling lucky. The action will be click center and then click OK. Set. And then we are going to run this. You will see whatever things it is going to implement. Okay, so the application already opened. So let me close this application. Reset, run. See this, it clicked on feeling lucky. Okay, and then we will check whether it has captured the data or not. See this image, and then see the value. What is the value it has been captured? Google search, right? So like this we can able to get the value. And here observe this image, see this view, image has been captured. If you want this image, so if you want to export, so we have an option called export also. We can able to export this image, whatever the image we are going to get it here. Okay, so this is about like surface automation. So if anyone asks in the interview, just so we'll give less preference to this. So tell them so we did not get a chance to work on this most of the time. Okay, so tell them so we have an idea so how to work with a surface automation. So how it is going to work. Okay, and so most important thing is here drop down list options. Drop down list. So most of the interviews they will ask. So how to use select item. So how you are going to pick the specific list from that value. We'll use select item and then item. So position. Item number is nothing but a position. Item position you are going to implement. Item position always it will take the number. That read the number and then it will exactly it will pick the value. Suppose if you want all the values from the drop down list, we need to pick everything and then we need to give it to some collection. For that we are going to use this one, get all items in a read shape. Get all items. Okay. And one more thing. Here have you observed anytime in our process, let me open, we have a one shape called process shape. Process. What is the purpose of this? This one we will use for reusable purpose. It means once you create a process, if you want to use that process in some other process or sequence of process if you want to use, then we can able to use these things. Sequence of process or one by one, process by process. Okay, so now we'll see so how to do that. Just a minute, I will show you. Now go to studio and then what all the process you created. Let me create a new process. Process underscore 7. Next. Now double click on this. Now observe this. Here we have an option called process. Right? Use this. Whatever the processes you created till now, any process you can able to use it here. It will be like this. Now give the link to process, double click. See this, how many processes till now we have created. Every process is available. You can pull anything, right? So now from this, for example, I will use calculation first. Done. Once the calculation process is completed, then I need to use some other process like a sequence, right? Sequence of steps like that. Now again use this, double click on a process and then use some other process, right? This, and then give the link. Like this you can create a number of processes in a single process. Now so if you run, it will run everything. So first it will run, second it is going to run. It will be like that. Now backend, from the backend it will run. See this, process 1, process 2, it's completed, it has run, right? So both the things has been completed. It's like we can create different process and we can able to merge all the process in one single process. Okay, so this is about process. So now we'll go to documentation part. In generally, in any software development life cycle, so what are the documentations we are going to follow? Like business requirement document, or like a high level design document and low level design documents, and then construction document. So these are the documents generally we are going to implement, right? Constructions document or mapping level document, right? This one we will call it as a mapping level document also. Mapping document. Okay. most of the time we are going to everywhere it will be the same, right? So we will have a business requirement in one documentation. After that we will, so based on the business requirement documentation, so your manager or architect or SME, they are going to prepare some other documentations like so functional document, right, or specificational document, whatever it may be. Based on the document, so your leads are, so any senior person, they are going to create high level document and then low level documents. It means, so it will give you the high level information, it will give you low level information, so like the developers can able to understand the things. Based on these documents, as a developers, what we have to do is we have to create construction document or mapping document. It means it will be with a plain English. So what you are going to do, what you are going to implement in the tool, you have to write it in each and every point here, because so it's the best thing, so to trace it. At the same time, so suppose assume that you have done something today, you have done some changes today. After 4 years, you want to do some enhancement on the same thing. Can we able to remember what we have done previously? No, right? At the same time, we have did something today, and then so after 1 year we are not there in that organization. Then other person occupied our position. Then how come that guy will understand what we have done if you are not following any documentation? So that's why before putting your hands on the tool, always they will ask to create a documentation. What you are going to do. So you need to understand the requirement, you need to understand the documents, and then you need to create a mapping level or construction documents. It will be reviewed by your lead or manager, and then once they say so yes you can go ahead, then only you are going to keep your hands on the tool so to develop the things. Okay, generally here same process will follow, but the thing is, so naming convention is different, that's it. Here we will call it as a solution design document, solution design documents, SDD, and then process design document and process design document. After that, object design document, object design document, process design document and object design documents. Which one will be the first? Solution design document is nothing but like functional requirement, that is a high level document. It will be created by your architects, or lead, or sorry, managers, project managers. So and then business analyst. All together they are going to involve, and then they are going to create solution design documents. It depends. In some organizations they will have separate seats, separate persons for architect and PM, and then so business analyst. But so most of the companies, they will not have separate team for each and so every position. So most of the things it will be taken care by any one person. It can be a project manager, or it can be a so architect, or it can be a business analyst, or SME. SME means nothing but subject matter expert. They will have the in and out complete knowledge on the tool at the same time. So they will have the complete knowledge on the business also. They can able to understand. So for everyone, so SMEs will be the point of contact, subject matter expert. They will have some experience on the tool, at the same time they will have knowledge on the business, right? And now, so what all these documents? So what all the things it will be there? Solution design document is functional. It's a high level. What we have to do, and then so after that object design documents, what all the objects you are going to create, everything it will be there. And then process design documents, what are the process, in a process what you need to do, what all the steps you need to follow, it will be there in that process design document. Now you'll see that so these documents, what all the things it is so available here. So now just go through this. Let me open. Now observe this. this implementation effort is on that, right? Solution design document, process design document, and object design documents. So now, so we'll open solution design document. This one is process design document, solution design document. It will be with a high level documentation. Okay, so just it should say like plain, you can able to understand easily. Just go through this document. It's a plain English, and here observe this diagram. Anything. So when you are automating, first from the business, when we are getting the requirement, we need to identify what is in scope of automation and what is not in scope of automation. That is very important, because we can't able to automate everything from that application. We will have some restrictions. Scope of automation and out of scope of automation, we need to managers or so architects or business owners, they will identify, and then they are going to tell to the client all these things will be not possible. These portion only we can able to automate. Okay, so we discuss medical application in class, right? So for example, medical claim policy. When you are doing that, like everything we can able to automate, like entering the details and then entering personal details, entering policy details, entering nominee details, and all these things we can able to do that, but we can able to automate. But what about the reports, medical reports? You need to go to the hospital, you need to give the blood samples, and then they have to so give that reports to you, and then so you have to send it, right? You have to upload it. So it can't able to automate it, right? We can't able to like that. See this here also. So they will give the information like what can be automated, what cannot be automated. See this scope of automation, out of scope of automation. Scope of automation means we can able to automate this. Out of scope of automation means we can't able to automate this. It will be like that. And apart from this, they will give the this is the complete diagram. So they will give the complete information, what can be done, what cannot be done, do's and don'ts. It means what cannot be achieved by this automation, what can be achieved by this automation. See this scope of automation, this, and then out of scope, scope and not in scope. So what is the drawback of RPA? Read this one, we can able to understand. We can't able to implement unstabilized application. At the same time, once the application is automated, if there is any changes in that base application, then whatever the things you have done, it is not going to work, right? So now, so in this scope of automation, we can enter the details, and then we can enter the details from Excel file to Excel file. We can able to create a workflow. We can able to implement the business implementation logics. That is fine. Observe this out of scope, not in scope. This is very important. So this changes in any GUI application, we can't able to automate, right? It is not possible. And then so changes, if any changes in the process design document, this is also not possible, right? So format inconsistency in Excel, whatever the data we are getting in the Excel file, so the same data we need to implement it, right? So if any column changes, if anything changes, then it is not going to work. That's the meaning of this. And known exceptions and unknown exceptions only we can able to see this. It's documented. It means whatever the exceptions the client is going to tell to us, those things only we can able to implement the exceptions. So we are not familiar with that application, though they have to tell that where and all they are going to get that exception, then only we can able to implement the exception. Otherwise it is not possible, right? Same thing. And then so if you observe here, the document, everything will be there. Like this is the just overall thing, it will be created by your architect or PMs. But so don't think that so whatever the things here, the same thing we need to implement. It's not like that. Just to show it to the client, they have given some so business objects and then some user defined business objects, but it may be increased or it may be decreased also. It's not the final one. It will be like that. Okay. And see this, what all the inputs and what all the outputs and what will be your queue name, and what will be the key name, and then also this, all these other data fields we need to create. See this data items we need to create. So like this you will have so everything in the documentation, process design document, and like environmental variables. If you have any credentials, this all these are the environmental variables what you need to create. Everything they will give it to you. So based on the and one more thing, every document it will be so walked through by your managers or walk through by your so business users also. Sometimes we need to interact with the business users, and then we need to so get the details from them. We need to understand the requirement, and then we have to implement the things. Now so this is a high level, right? Now come to so we are going to concentrate more on object design document. By seeing that document and by seeing that application, we can able to understand what we have to do. These things will be created by your so SMEs. See this object design document, right? This is the first object design document. Here they will give you how many objects we have to create. See this here, object name, and then what will be the actions we need to create. It will be like this. And do you have any inputs for this? And do you have any outputs for this? And then where you need to do that. See this, do you want to do that in a start page in an application? This is the application, right? So like this we can have like observe this one. So another object, don't think that everything has to be done by only one person. Each and every object here it will be given it to individuals, right? So once they given, so we need to go through that application. You need to check, for example, so this portion, so you received it to you, you have to do that. So policy primary details, entering the policy primary details, you have to go to that application. Where is this you need to check. And then so how many actions they create. So they want us to create 2 actions, and then what are the inputs they are expecting. For this you need to create these inputs with these data types. And then where you are doing this Eclipse policy page, that is application page where you are doing this. Like this you need to create it, and then you need to test everything, right? You have to create whatever the things you have created. We have to test whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so it will be like that. So once it is done, so object design document, so based on the object design document we are going to create, right? Suppose in a team, so 5 to 6 members is there. Each and every person has created different objects. Then what we need to do, we need to integrate everything in your process studio, right? Next will be process studio, process design document, right? So now come to process design document. Now observe this one be done by any senior person in a team, because this guy has to like when you are creating a process you have to like integrate everything what everyone has done, right? Integrate together, and then we have to do that. See this is the complete diagram. They have done complete project flow, so how it is going to work. And then don't think that so each and every same shapes we have to use. Maybe so based on their understanding, based on the so lead understanding, sorry, based on the project manager or architect understanding, they have given the shapes, but they will not be familiar with the tool, right? They don't know so which shape you have to use. So you have to think that based on the requirement which shape we have to implement. It will like that. So now observe this step by step it will be there. So what they have to do in a process design document, which one they have to use. Observe this here. Scroll down. See this object actions. First they need to create so launch, right? See this. First you need to create a launch in a login page in a Eclipse application. After launch, what you need to, so you need to use a, so click on this. After that navigate to find policy reference number first. After that, so which action you have to use. So you have to use this action, right? So like this, so you will have the complete information. And then each and everywhere, so if you have any inputs and outputs, see this, all the fields are included, right? So and then so these are the so inputs, it will be like that. So you have to cross check, and then everything it will be in the documentation. Only our thing is you need to understand the documentation. It will be given walkthrough to you, no need to worry. And then you need to check the tool, how the tool is working, and then we have to create a objects. That is what most of you. the time. So our work will be, we need to understand, we need to create a process. Everyone will not get chance to work with like control room. Everyone will not get a chance to work with queues and all those things. Okay, it differs. Okay, so based on the position, based on your position, based on the organization, so they are going to give them. So it's very easy. So when once you entered into the company, so you can able to do it. So you will have a lot of time, and you will have all the documentation will be there, and then application will be there, support will be there, everything is well and good, everything will go smooth. Only the thing is you need to release just to entering into that organization, any organization. That's it. So that it will go very smooth. Okay. So I will share all these documents to you. So go through that, and then you can able to understand the things, so how the things is go happening here. Okay, so it's about the documentation. And so whatever the things we have discussed, everything. So when you are practicing, if you have any doubts, so already we are sharing videos, right? Okay, so going forward, so any further like updates or any new topics, okay, so if I feel that this is very important or we need to discuss this, what I will do is, so I created a YouTube channel, so you can check with this name in YouTube. So you will get that channel, so you can subscribe this one. Okay, so if any like updates was there, so you will get it. Okay, so you can able to check very frequently. Okay, so you can able to see that updates so in your email if you subscribe. Okay, so I will keep this. Any questions this class? Sure, I will explain here. Okay, in drop down, so we need to remember two things. One is, what is our requirement? We need to select any specific list, any specific thing from a list, any specific list from drop down. Means we have to use select item. This one we have to use in navigate shape. Navigate shape, you have an option called select item. Okay, and then in this select item you need to use item position. Remaining only item position, we have to use item position. Navigate, select item position for individual thing. If you want to get everything from the list, from the drop down list, everything, then you have to use read option. You have to use get all items. Removal. That's it. So now I will show you. Just observe this here. We'll go to that same thing. Normally how we are going to spy same thing. We have to spy that, and then we have to use. See this? We launched it here. Come to this navigate. Feeling lucky. This is for feeling lucky. And then come to this one. Sorry. Click OK. And then come to this one. Drop down list. Observe this. Which one we have used? This is navigate, right? Navigate shape. And then we used select item. We use select item, and then which one we have used? We used item position. Just click on a item position. That's it. Okay, after that what we have done, see this drop down, and then so we need get all items, because we are using read option here, so we need everything from that particular list into some other collection. That's why we are using get all item. If you want individual things, we can go for select item. If you want everything, we need to pick and then just to check how many values we have. Then we can use get all items and then we can load it into a collection. But most of the time we will use this select item and then item position. So here, if you want to use any specific text, here we have a text option also, right? If you want to use any specific text, it should be in the proper format, right? For example, so Filipino, France, so how the list you can able to see it here, the same way it should be. You have to type there within double quotes. For example, observe this, how you can able to see it here, the same way you need to type. How you can able to see it here, the same way you need to type, then it will pick the things. So that's why it's always better option to use item position. So this is a different languages, right? So we can't able to, right? So that's why we'll use item position most of the time. Okay, so is it clear? Any questions? Thank you. Okay guys, all the best. Okay, if you have any questions, you can reach me at any time. So you have my number, right? Okay, so don't think that. So maybe, so definitely I will reply. Okay, so maybe delay will be there, so but definitely I will give answer to your questions. Okay, so when you are practicing, and so if you want, if you are not clear with any topic also, you can come back to me. So no issues on that. Okay, thank you very much. I will send these documents, all the documents to you guys. Yeah. All the best.